It's Thursday, January 9th, 2020. Here's what's happening. A city of Jamestown man is arrested in connection with an armed robbery overnight. Plus, what New York's governor had to say during his State of the State address yesterday.
And it's dry over Warren right now, but how long will this dryness last? We'll talk about it as the news starts right now.
From the team that puts coverage first, this is your source for breaking news. WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. A city of Jamestown man was arrested following an early morning robbery at the Quickfill gas station in Falconer. Town of Ellicott police allege that 40-year-old Andrew Piatz walked into the gas station, threatened a gun, and then robbed the store. This all happened just after 6:30 a.m. this morning. Police say Piatz stole an undetermined amount of cash and some small merchandise. He then fled on foot as responding officers gave chase. With the help from the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office K-9 unit and Jamestown Police Department, officers say the man was taken into custody a short distance away from the scene there. Piatz is charged with third-degree robbery and petty larceny. Officers say he was held at the Chautauqua County Jail pending arraignment in that case. And a city of Dunkirk man is facing several charges following multiple break-ins this month. Dunkirk police say that 29-year-old Justin Bays allegedly broke into an apartment building on Central Avenue and vandalized a coin-operated dryer in an attempt to steal coins. Bays reportedly fled the scene while officers arrived. Now, following a short foot chase, he was taken into custody. The man is also facing charges stemming from 2 alleged burglaries earlier this month. Police allege on January 5th, Bays broke into Fieldbrook Foods and stole an employee's belongings and vandalized a contractor's trailer. Bays was also charged in connection with a similar break-in at Earnhardt's Collision the day before, allegedly stealing cash from that business. Police say he was released under New York's new bail reform law after appearing in Dunkirk City Court.
I, George Borrello,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I shall well, honestly, and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of State Senator in and for New York's 57th Senate District.
Discharge the duties in and for the State Senate, 57th Senate District.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, as you see, they're surrounded by his family and members of the Senate Republican Conference. Senator George Borrello took his oath of office yesterday as the representative of the 57th State Senate District. Now, the ceremony took place in the Senate chambers just prior to the official start of the 2020 legislative session. Well, a new fine dining restaurant is scheduled to officially open in downtown Jamestown next week. The Chop House on Main will hold a grand opening ribbon cutting on Monday at 4 p.m. Now, the restaurant aims to offer a modern take on a traditional steakhouse, featuring a chef-driven menu, an extensive wine list, as well as some curated craft cocktails. Now, previously, if you remember, Fresco's Pizza and Wings operated the first floor of the Fenton building before it closed in July 2019. And certainly looking at that space, it looks like it's huge space and very well decorated. I can't wait to really learn more information come next week. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here on WNY News. Now let's pull up the live stream and check in with the comments and see how everybody is doing on this Thursday. Finally getting towards the end of what may have been the first work week coming off of that holiday that we had with New Year's. Hopefully everybody's having a good day, and if I can pull my stream up, then we can check in with the comments. Got to say hello to Pam. Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks so much for joining us here. Hello to Wendy. Great to see you on the broadcast as always. We love having you here. Lori says she's excited to check out that restaurant. So am I, Lori. It should be really cool. Hello to Rod. He says, happy cold Thursday. Yeah, let me tell you about that, Rod. It is very, very cold out there. Daniel, hello to you. I got to say hello to Michael. Hopefully you're doing well. David, Butch, and Samantha as well. And speaking of the cold, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, he's joining us now. And Dakota, boy, let me tell you, it is pretty darn chilly out there today. Feeling like winter amid what really the last couple of days weren't too bad weather-wise.
Yeah, it's feeling like winter today, at least early today, but don't worry. Temperatures are going to rebound, but at least the wind is not as bad as it was yesterday. These are the snowfall totals that we got in this morning from yesterday morning. This is not total snowfall, but from yesterday here. 4 inches at Allegheny State Park, Ishway, 3.4, Little Valley at 3 inches on the nose, Olean 2.5, Jamestown 1.5, and Dunkirk only 0.08 of an inch. So again, we told you how most areas yesterday were likely going to pick up about 2 to 4 inches, and those totals were pretty much in range with what we were expecting. Radar is dry today, but don't get used to this because by this time tomorrow morning, the radar is going to be covered in a whole lot of green, and that will continue through much of the weekend. 30 over 10. Man, it was frigid this morning. 10 degrees was the official low in Jamestown. 32 and 15 is where we should be, and 60 and 10 below zero are actually in the record books for today. So hour by hour through the day, notice how the temperatures are actually going up through the day. Usually around this time of the year, our highs occurs around 2 to 3 o'clock. But notice how the highs are going up. We're likely going to end the day probably in the lower 30s, but then temperatures will soar overnight into the 40s, and then they'll come crashing down over the weekend. We'll give you all the latest on that storm we've been talking about and that 7-day in the show. Justin?
Alrighty, Dakota, thank you very much. Coming up, what New York's governor had to say during his 2020 State of the State address yesterday. And later on, how augmented reality is helping further education at Jamestown Public Schools. It's a really cool story. Stay with us.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you. When you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading the WNY News Now mobile app. Stay up to date on local news, weather, and sports that matter to you. Plus, subscribe to breaking news and weather alerts from the team that puts coverage first. In addition, watch news as it happens with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network. Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. New York State's governor says this year the state must crack down on hate crimes, enhance environmental protections, and legalize recreational marijuana. Governor Andrew Cuomo's State of the State address yesterday touted his past achievements and announced a long list of policy initiatives, many of which he previewed in a series of announcements over the past month. Cuomo has released proposals to ban untraceable guns, study high-speed rail, allow liquor sales in movie theaters, require the use of American-made steel and iron on infrastructure projects, and ease rules for protecting and prosecuting sexual assault, now involving intoxication of those victims. He also stressed the need for fiscal restraint, with the state staring at a $6 billion budget gap caused largely by soaring Medicaid spending.
For 6 years, we have been paying all the increased costs in local Medicaid spending and holding the local governments harmless. This year alone, we will spend $4 billion in covering the increase in the local government share. You can't separate administration from accountability. It is too easy to write a check when you don't sign it. Just ask my daughters who are here today. The situation is I'm going to pay for that later. That was a joke. It was a joke. Joke. The situation is unsustainable. We have restructured Medicaid before with our MRT program, and we're going to have to do it again this year, and we will, and we can.
Now, the governor has cautioned against overspending while pledging not to raise taxes. That budget consensus message could clash with more left-leaning lawmakers and advocates who want to balance the budget with new taxes on the wealthy. Cuomo also outlined another ban that would cover marketing flavored e-cigarettes to children, initiatives intended to lower the cost of prescription drugs, guaranteed paid sick leave time for more New York workers, and expanded universal pre-kindergarten. Well, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg says she is cancer-free. The liberal icon has battled the disease 4 times. Her most recent scare was when she was treated for a tumor on her pancreas in August. Before that, she dealt with lung cancer, colon cancer, and another bout with pancreatic cancer. The 86-year-old has said she will stay in the Supreme Court as long as she is healthy and mentally agile. Many of her fans hope she keeps her post until at least another Democrat is elected to the White House. President Donald Trump has appointed 2 justices since he took office, firmly establishing a conservative majority in the nation's highest court. Supreme Court justices serve until they resign or die. Congress can also remove them in a process similar to impeachment, though that has never happened. Well, the number of options to get you from point A to point B is growing. Companies at CES in Las Vegas are showing off what they see as the transportation of the future, from flying taxis to personal pods. And that's just one reason the major automakers are making their presence and their new ideas knowing on the show to the floor. Karen Kaifa has the details in today's Consumer Watch.
At a show with plenty of showstoppers, tech fans craning their necks for a better look at Hyundai's flying electric taxi at CES. The first prototype of the 4-seater will take to the skies in 2023, Hyundai says. The eventual goal, hailing it through Uber. Bird Scooters with a similar goal in mind, but staying grounded.
Bird is looking to take cars off the road and provide alternative transportation options.
Segway's S-Pod is looking at shorter distances and enclosed areas like malls or airports. The S-Pod is controlled by the touch of a knob and balances itself as it reaches top speeds of 24 miles per hour. With electronics maker Sony delivering a big surprise at the show, an electric concept car, the major automakers know they need to drive innovation beyond the traditional 4 wheels.
We're talking about mobility and it going into the next level.
Toyota's e-pallets are electric, automated, and can transport things or people, like athletes at the 2020 Summer Olympic Games in Tokyo. Innovation means some iconic brands are getting a fresh spin. Ford showed off its all-electric Mustang SUV hitting the road later this year.
This is taking Mustang after 55 years. It's looking into the future and taking it where we know we need to bring it.
At CES in Las Vegas, for Consumer Watch, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Alrighty, Karen, thank you very much. Well, today the nation honors those who are charged with keeping our community safe. It's National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. According to the National Day calendar, several law enforcement organizations came together to create this unofficial holiday back in 2015. They wanted to thank officers from across the community for helping their communities. Now, there are several ways to show your support for the day, including sending a note of thanks to local county or state police agencies. And of course, here in Jamestown, Dakota, we are very thankful for the men and women in blue at the Jamestown Police Department, always keeping us safe. And here at WNY News Now, we kind of get a pulse of what's going on because we're so close to City Hall, where a lot of fire and EMS and police sometimes are dispatched from. So we always see them driving around. And I know yesterday there was a Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office, and we don't know really what happened with this story, but it was so very interesting. He kind of parked off in the street and was sort of blocking the alleyway. And he went into the Digital building across the street. So we don't know what he was doing, but it was, it actually wasn't, I don't think it was yesterday a little bit, right after we had all that crazy snow that fell.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was yesterday.
And we just thought, we're like, man, he missed the snow. Let me tell you, because that would have been a totally different scene coming an hour before that. So really, nevertheless, and we thank our officers, and certainly they do so much. And in today's world, I would imagine it must be so terrifying because there are so many evils out there that have to be combated. So a salute to them. Nevertheless, well,
and also when it comes to law enforcement too. I mean, when it comes to weather reports, sometimes law enforcement is literally the only weather reports we get because they're out there all the time. So.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're out there in any weather too. I mean, you always see the state police on 86 when I drive in the morning, and certainly seeing them out there patrolling. I mean, cars go in the ditch, and they're there in minutes sometimes. So it's really amazing. Got to say hello to Sean. Hopefully you're doing well. Good afternoon to you. David, he says, God bless our first responders. Totally agree with you. They're going to give you a big thumbs up on that comment. If my tablet will work. My tablet is giving me trouble today. I had a heck of a time pulling up the thing of the broadcast, and eventually I just set it on the desk, and our producer grabbed it, and I don't know how he pulled it up so quickly. They're good at technology.
Remember, Jay, it's never the technology, it's the user.
That's not very nice. Come on.
Sorry.
Hello to Chuck. Hello to Andy. Hopefully you're doing well. Hello to Scott. Hello to Angel as well. Good afternoon to you. And good afternoon to Lori. Thanks so much for joining us. And Norm, good to see you here on the broadcast. Well, let's change gears here and go into our weather. And Dakota, it's going to be a pretty interesting weather weekend to come our way. I know earlier this week you explained to me the thingy-mabobs and the who's and what's in your weather office.
10-to-1 snow to liquid ratio.
You explained that. And I still don't get it.
Well, I'll just very briefly explain it. A 10-to-1 snow to liquid ratio means for every essentially for every inch of water that is in the snowpack, you'll have 10 inches of snow. That's essentially what that means. It's 10-to-1. So it's basically 1 inch of liquid equals 10 inches of snow.
So we could get, say, we get like 5 inches of snow. That's going to be like 30 more inches on top of all of that.
I mean, most of our ratios are 10-to-1. That's most of the snow ratio. Sometimes it varies depending on the liquid content, but most of the time we use 10-to-1. But the good news is, it looks like the snow will be missing us for the most part this weekend.
That's good, because you were telling me that there was quite a bit of concern in that maybe if we didn't, say, get enough rain, or we didn't get rain, we could get all snow, and it could be a sloppy mess out there.
It's all track dependent, and let's give you a live look over downtown Jamestown at noon hour from the DoubleTree Hotel downtown, and it is quiet out there, and that is the good news after we've gone through a couple of days of a lot of snow and wind. Right now downtown 24 degrees, and look at the wind south at 4 miles per hour. A light wind is always going to be your best friend. These were the lows this morning. Man, it was frigid. 10 is where we started the day in Jamestown, 18 in Dunkirk, 19 in Erie. How about 6 in Olean? Want to go lower? 2 in Bradford. That is where you started the morning this morning, and nothing showing up for Countersport. The airport down there is currently down for service. So this is where we are currently. We're at 21 right now in Jamestown, 25 Mayville, 27 Dunkirk, 25 Corey, 28 Erie, 26 Warren, 26 TDU, 20 Salamanca, 18 in Olean. So we rebounded nicely, and these temperatures will continue to rise slowly as we go through the afternoon hours. Here's what's coming up here. So feeling much better today than it has been the past couple of days. The winds are down, but don't get used to that because the winds will be ticking right back up tonight. Temperatures rise overnight. Usually temperatures fall overnight. They'll be going the opposite direction overnight. Our lows are going to occur early, and then they'll start rising after midnight. A flooding concern over the weekend. It's looking more likely that the storm over the weekend will likely be a heavy rain producer with a lot of moisture with it, and there is the chance still of maybe some limited icy precipitation on Sunday. That's our next big thing, and we showed this map yesterday, and I wanted to show it again because this gives us a good idea of what we're looking at here. So this is all track dependent here. You can see this ice line, this purple area here is going to be the area of where there's going to be some icing going on with this storm. But notice how close it is to the southern tier. Because of its close proximity, that's where that colder air is. The warmer air is to the south, colder air to the north. Because it's so close, we cannot rule out the chance maybe seeing a light glazing later in the day on Sunday. Still not guaranteed, but it's looking like tomorrow and Saturday will be a flooding rain potential as we get a lot of moisture to come in here. Here's Future Scan. You can see today clear. Here we go into tomorrow. You can see all this green coming in. That's the rain showers, and it's mainly going to overspread the region. Tomorrow, the darker colors start to indicate the heavier amounts of rainfall. Tomorrow is just going to be a total washout. It's going to be raining pretty much almost all day tomorrow, and because of its moderate to heavy intensity, there's going to be the chance for some good rainfall accumulations. Now, this model only goes out so far. This is the in-house model, and you can see already by early Saturday, the rain will continue. We'll swap the computer models and kind of zoom it out to give you a perspective. This is our storm right here, and notice that pink line. That's that wintry precipitation or the freezing rain, and this is just one computer model. Some of the other models are trying to bring this a little bit closer to the south. Some of them are moving it a little bit to the north, but this is just one model to kind of show you what we're looking at here. Notice how that pink line, very close to Western New York. And then again, this goes all the way out until Sunday night or Saturday night. You can see mostly rain, but that colder air is lurking. So talk about rainfall. This is the in-house model, and I think this model is overdoing some of these totals a little bit, but it gives us a good idea of what we're looking at. This goes all the way until Saturday morning. Again, heavy rain definitely likely tomorrow, and the model here, Climber, 2.4 inches. That might be a bit on the high side, but again, this is a good representation of to show you what we're looking at here. Possibly an inch of rain tomorrow, another inch or 2 inches on Saturday, and all of this is going to add up, and at some point we're going to have a problem. So there is the chance for some flooding issues likely over the weekend. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of a flood advisory issued by the Weather Service possibly today or tomorrow. So showers develop late tonight. Temperature rises overnight. These are the early lows, 28 to 34. This is where we'll be by the morning, 37 to 44. Wind comes up, wind gusts 45 miles per hour. Next 7 days of your life. Flying up on the screen, rainy and windy tomorrow, 47. 58's our official high for Saturday. Very warm day, but the heavy rain will likely be possible throughout the day. There's that freezing rain potential. Temperatures drop Sunday, highs in the morning, falling to near freezing. That will likely bring us that freezing rain potential. We dry out Monday, 40 degrees, and then we bring in another chance for rain and snow showers Tuesday, mid-40s, and temperatures remain above average into mid-next week into the 40s. Justin and Norm?
Alrighty, Norm, thank you very much. Coming up next in sports, Norm is here with a preview.
Yes, we do, Justin. Coming up in sports, we'll give you the details on a high school conference basketball game in play tonight. Stay tuned to WNY News Now.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at phonezoneshop.com.
Happy Thursday, sports fans. We are nearing the end of the work week. Welcome back to WNY News Now. I'm Norm Rodriguez with a look at sports. In high school basketball action, the Jamestown Red Raiders junior varsity and varsity boys basketball games will be in play tonight. Both teams will be having road conference games versus the Williamsville North Spartans. The JV game will be at 6 o'clock, and the varsity game will have a 9 o'clock tip-off tonight. With an 8 o'clock puck drop tonight, the Buffalo Sabres will be on the road to take on the defending Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues. Buffalo has won back-to-back games and have climbed up to 5th in the Atlantic with 45 points, 4 points behind the Florida Panthers. Meanwhile, the Blues are at the top of the Central Division with 61 points, 7 points ahead of the second-place Dallas Stars. Tonight's game will be televised on MSGB. Also going on tonight with a 7 o'clock tip-off, The 24-14 Philadelphia 76ers will host the 25-10 Boston Celtics. In 5th place in the East, Philly is coming off of a 120-113 win over the Oklahoma City Thunder in their last game on Monday. They will also be without center Joel Embiid tonight due to a gruesome dislocated finger sustained on Monday. Meanwhile, Boston has lost their last 2, including a 129-114 loss against the San Antonio Spurs on Wednesday night. The Celtics are in 3rd in the East, and the game will be televised on TNT. That's it for sports today. Back to Justin and Dakota.
All right, Norm, thank you very much. Well, students at Jamestown Public Schools are taking education to another dimension with augmented reality. Now, the district's technology integration specialist recently started using the tool in Purcell Middle School's art class. Students start by playing with the tech, then writing a story and creating the story in the AR app and drawing in any missing pieces to add to their world. Then the young artists take video of their story and share with the group. Certainly amazing, and technology can change your life. And seeing it here, I mean, it's so crazy to think that, you know, back when we were in school, which really wasn't that long ago, in primary school.
I was in school back in the Stone Age, so.
Right, so you were chiseling into rock.
Ding, 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 ding,
but
ding, ding.
everybody else, colored pencils,
Yep,
things
colored
like
pencils.
That, right?
Yep.
But now,
Crayons.
augmented reality. It's incredible.
Well, you see, I've mentioned it before. This is the reason why I think augmented reality is going to be a bigger deal than virtual reality, because it is so cool. And the fact is, you don't need to buy expensive goggles that make you look like you're skiing and a whole bunch of expensive equipment. It just works with whatever you have. All modern smartphones have essentially AR compatibility, and even iPads too. Yeah. And it's like, you know, it just works with whatever device you have, and it's so cool.
Right.
It's a lot better than VR, in my humble opinion.
So the difference between augmented reality and virtual reality is that augmented transforms the space that you're in through like a
virtual
screen.
reality is basically the goggles, and you're in a whole virtual world. But the problem with virtual reality is it's so expensive. The equipment needed to make it work is so expensive. I mean, it's just like 3D TV. Who cares about 3D TV? Nobody. I mean, it had its 15 minutes of fame because the glasses were proprietary to each brand of television. There was no universal glasses. And it's like, that's the problem. And VR is going down the same road. That's why AR, if you were to give me $1 million and say, put your money on AR or VR, I'd put it on AR.
All right. Dakota's taking a stand right here.
That's right. You heard it first here, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of hearing it here first, let's talk about the rainfall totals. Now, again, this is the in-house computer model through Saturday night. We're looking at about an average about 1 to 1.5 inches of rainfall. And again, we get 1 to 1.5 inches tomorrow, another 1.5 inches Saturday, maybe another inch Saturday night. All this is going to add up, and we're going to have a problem. So I would not be a bit surprised if we see some sort of a flood watch issued by the National Weather Service for the weekend. You can see every single one of those temperatures on that 7-day forecast is above average. So if you're looking for real wintertime cold, you have to go somewhere else because it's not going to be here.
All right. Hey, you know what? Not too bad for January, in my opinion. But I know snow, people love to get out and ski. So,
yeah, the ski resorts, snowboarding.
That kind of maybe puts a cramper in that. The Jester's Promoting Company, I love this. They say, I had to walk to school through 6 inches or feet of snow uphill both ways.
Is that like, who is it on the Rugrats? Grandpa Lou? He used to walk 15 miles. You know, everything was 15 miles.
Samantha, I agree. School's coming up in technology. Really great that they're teaching them how to use that for sure in a digital world.
Yeah.
That'll do it for us today. We're back tomorrow with our TGIF edition. Hope to see you here live at noon. In the meantime,
don't get washed away.
When you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading our mobile app. Just search WNY News Now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Have a great day.